Hey everybody, this is Brandon from Archery Country. We are back today for another bow build. Today I'm going to be building up the 2022 Mathews V3X 29. I get a couple different bows every year, and I chose the 29 for a shorter, smaller, just more compact bow. It's going to be nice for turkey hunting this spring in a ground blind. If I'm fortunate enough to draw another mule deer tag this year, then I can take this with and be running around the hills and the mountains with it. Something nice and lightweight and compact to put the miles on with. You can get the bow in a lot of different colors. This year I went with an ambush green riser with the black limbs, running some purple strings on there. So I kind of went through and on Mathew's website, went through the custom bow builder and found what I liked and had it made up that way. So if you follow along with us, I'm gonna grab some accessories here and I'm gonna show you why I'm putting what accessories on and what I like about them. So we're gonna start building here. All right guys, I'm gonna take you down the line of accessories here that I'm gonna put on the bow. So first off, we've got the Silent Connect system. I've been running that on all my bows since they started coming out with these. I really like that. I can attach the Mathews sling to it for when I'm out west hunting and I'm packing my bow in quite a ways. You can just run that sling and it comes on and off very easily if I need it to. And then also just when I'm tree stand hunting, you've got your bow rope system that you can attach to that, which is a really slick deal. For a rest, I'm gonna run the integrated Mathews rest. I've had that same thing since they came out with it. It's been a bulletproof rest for me. All sealed bearings in there, all aluminum launch, which I really like, especially when I'm out west hunting. Sometimes the hunts can get rough. Maybe you're not always careful with your bow and you can really trust this rest that it's gonna hold up. For a sight, I'm actually just running the same thing I ran last year. So this is the sight I used last year. The Mountain Light sight. It's kind of a custom one that I did. I like to run the bigger housing on my sight. I run a bigger peep sight just for letting in light. And even long range, I think I got a solid enough anchor point where the bigger peep with the bigger housing, it's always worked for me. I don't feel like I lose a lot of accuracy. The only thing that I'm waiting for that you won't see in this video today, Black Gold is coming out with an adapting bracket. So if you do have some type of slider sight or any Black Gold for that matter, if you want to utilize the new bridge lock technology, they are coming out with a bracket that you can attach to the back of this and then be able to use the bridge lock system that's on these new Mathews now. So going down the line here for the quiver, really excited about this new quiver for Mathews, and I'll go over this and show you how it works once I have the bow set up. But it's essentially, it's almost like a two-piece quiver. It's a lot longer, so it's holding your arrows lower. So for myself, I'm a whitetail hunter, a turkey hunter, I mule deer hunt when I draw tags. Mule deer hunting, I never take my quiver off, and I prefer a two-piece quiver. This is acting as that two-piece quiver. But now when I go turkey hunting or I'm in a tree stand, I almost always take my quiver off. And with this one, it's detachable as well. Super lightweight, and it's kind of the best of both worlds for a quiver. For stabilizer, I'm running an 8-inch flat line from Mathews out the front of the bow. And then I am gonna run a 6-inch flat line off the back of the bow. And attaching that back one on, I'm using the Mathews adjustable V-bar bracket, which is really nice. Got fluid motion up and down, left and right. You can really adjust it and customize it how you like your feel. And then I'll be adding the bow legs on it. Turkey hunting's coming up soon, so have something that I can utilize in the ground blind, and then just practicing, I kind of like to have it on the bow just to set it down so the bow's not in the dirt. So those are the accessories I'm running this year, and pretty excited to get this bow set up, so let's get after it. All right guys, we are ready to build this thing. Pretty exciting times right now. So the first thing I'm gonna add, just some of the quick and easy stuff before we have to put it into the vise. I'm gonna throw on the Silent Connect system. And I know some of you think like the Silent Connect system, I've had customers in the shop, they like it, they like the idea of it, but it's right around 60 bucks to buy. You get the 2 knobs and then the bow rope sling for it. And it's kind of if you're not gonna use the actual sling and you're just gonna use the pull-up rope, it can seem like it's a little expensive, but I had something happen to me a couple years ago before this was out, and I was just using an old school clip style one that I would just roll up through my cam and clip it around. And I'd let my bow go about 2 feet down, coming out at night. I'm undoing my bow and that metal clip actually broke, and I watched my bow fall out of the tree about 20 feet. Broke my sight, bent the cam. This is really nice. Once I get this attached here, I'm gonna show you how this rope system works. It's super quiet, easy to use. All right, we got all the screws nice and tight there. So when you're taking this, and obviously this rope would unravel, Just run it around either your top or bottom tab. I'm usually running mine on the top tab like this. And then you're just gonna take that rubber grommet, push it down so you're not tying anything. You don't have to make any ties. There's no metal clips to break, just like that. And then you'd lower it down or raise it up. Super easy. And it's quiet. Then if I want to undo it, just slide that back up. Take that off. Pretty slick system. All right, so we're just gonna pop the rest on. Now this rest actually I pulled off of one of my bows from last year. So I'm not gonna need to probably adjust a whole lot as far as the left and right and the up and down. We're just gonna kind of start where it's at. And these have just been bulletproof. Haven't had any issues with them. Haven't seen any break yet. This has been a really solid rest all around. We're gonna put this in the vise here. You guys can kind of see a little easier on what I'm doing here. Attach our bars. And I messed around a lot on my bows too with going 6-inch off the front, 8-inch off the back. I've ran even some 10s and 12s out the front. Over the last couple of years, I've just kind of settled in on this 8-inch off the front and a 6-inch off the back. I really like that combination. It seems to be enough for me. I don't need anything more. We're gonna throw this back bar bracket on now. Find the right size wrench here. All right. Then on that back bar bracket, they give you this nice little quick disconnect. So once it's on there, comes off quick and easy. If you're putting it in your case, maybe you have a case that it doesn't fit in, which most of them are not going to. I can just crack that loose, lift it off, put it in the case pocket, then just attach it real quick later. I'm gonna flip this around for you. It's time to put that quiver on. You guys can see how this attaches here. So when you're putting this on, it comes with these brackets, so it makes it look like it's gonna be a 2-piece quiver. And Mathews has this all machined out in the riser, so it makes it really easy. You can't do it wrong. There is a top and bottom bracket to this, so I guess that's the only thing. Just make sure you're running the brackets correct, which you'll know when you're trying to put the quiver on. If you've done it wrong, it won't work. All right, now that we got those brackets on nice and tight, I'm gonna show you how this quiver works here. So on this quiver, on the bottom quiver holder here where your arrows are going, that little grommet, there's a lever here that you would flip open. So if you can see that, that's closed, flip open. So you need to flip that open. Once that's open, then you take this top roller up into the very first bracket here, and that just drops in. Make sure that's down all the way. And again, so I got this bracket open here, that's gonna just slide into this bottom part, just like that. And then to close that or to clamp it on tight, you just flip that bracket all the way shut, just like that. So as it's on there, you can see it first off, it sits really, really tight to the bow. So for the guys that don't like to take their quiver off, you have minimal weight coming back to the side with all your arrows in there. And this is where the bridge lock's nice. Once I have that bridge lock in there, it won't be so tight to my bow or my sight here as well. The arrows are gonna be grab way down here, so I don't have a lot of arrow hanging out here, not a lot of noise, not a lot of vibration if I'm gonna shoot with it on like I would when I'm mule deer hunting. But when you get to your stand of the blind, you wanna take this off, just open up this lever, slides right off the back and up the top, so it comes on and off very easy. It's super light quiver. Really excited about that piece. All right guys, so we're gonna take this out of the vise here. I'm gonna get it in the bow press and we're gonna install a loop, gonna get the rest tied in, get a peep sight on, kisser button, and then we'll start doing some tuning. All right guys, so we got the bow in the press here. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start timing the drop weight rest here. So I like to take off the string suppressor here, just gives me a little more room to make my tie. We're gonna pop this guy off, couple set screws there, and that comes right off. All right, so we just feeding that cable through there. When I'm timing it, I'm drawing it back, get to full draw, and as I'm releasing down, I want that arrow rest to be dropping in that first inch. I don't want it dropping immediately, but I don't want it dropping too late. Otherwise, you know you have your cord too tight. All right, we're gonna run it there. That's looking pretty good. Gonna be using a little OD green serving to make this bow try to look as nice as possible, match some stuff. That's not always what it's all about, but it is nice to have a bow looking the way you want it to. Leave a little bit of tag ends there to burn off. All right, now we're gonna install our string suppressor again since we're done there. All right, so we got that on there. Now it's time to get a D-loop tied up, and we're gonna square that off. This is definitely always one of my favorite parts. I get a couple different bows every year, and doing the bow build, going through tuning your bow. That's one of the most exciting parts for me. All right, we'll let that dry up a little bit. I'm gonna get my peep sight in here as well. Gonna add a kisser button on here quick too, which I'll have to set that up where I want it, but I'll get it installed. I've shot a kisser button for a lot of years. I like to have it really for hunting more so than just practicing. I think it helps me, you know, on the range, target shooting and stuff a little bit, but more so when I'm hunting, low light conditions, you're turkey hunting, you're mule deer hunting, you're doing these different things where you're not always in perfect form. Sometimes you're kneeling down, maybe you've belly crawled a ways and you know, the wind's blowing in your face. You're in a tree stand, you're at a really downward angle, and that kisser button just really helps to acquire that anchor point very, very fast. All right, we're gonna get this loop squared up now. And I'm gonna run grab my arrows. All right guys, so went and grabbed a couple arrows here. So we're gonna take this out. I did throw a square on it here. Before I tighten my loop down, even with a square, just to make sure it even, you know, it kind of looks right, I like to just throw an arrow on. I am shooting the VAP series, which is a 1/66 diameter. It's one of the smaller diameter arrows. All right, so that's actually looking pretty good. We're gonna take that off. I'm gonna tighten that up, and then we're gonna go hit the range. And as we're doing our paper tuning, we may need to move that loop up or down just a little bit after we check cam timing and make sure that all that stuff's on. So gonna get this loop tight, and then we're gonna go start our tuning. All right, we're grabbing arrows. We're gonna go put it in the draw board quick, make sure the cam timing's on before we start paper tuning. All right guys, we just put it in the draw board here, so we're gonna check cam timing, see how this looks. Actually, these cams right out of the box are perfect right now. Good job, whoever built this at Mathews, kudos to you. All right, so we're gonna take this out of here. All right, before I set my kisser and peep sight, I wanna go shoot it through the paper, make sure it's paper tuned good in case I need to adjust something with the loop. I don't wanna have to have these tied in and then untie them and go through all that. So we're gonna go down and paper tune. All right guys, so we know that the cams are in time. So we are gonna run one through the paper here, see what we gotta do for adjustments, or if we get lucky enough like we did in the cam time, maybe we don't need to. Like I said before, I am shooting the VAP SS. This is actually going to be my first year hunting with it. I did have these set up last year on a bow, but I've been running the RIP TKOs for so many years. I've had such good luck with them that I just ran with those last year, but I'm getting just a little bored of using the same thing. So more than anything, I just want to try something different. So I am running these 300 spine. I shoot a 27.5-inch draw, and I am running the 70-pound mods maxed out. Probably, I haven't scaled it yet, but I'm guessing it's probably right around that 71, maybe 72 pounds right now. So we're gonna run this arrow through it, see what we got for a hole here. It's actually very, very close. I'm gonna shoot one more. We might have just a slight right and a slight downward tear, but it's very, very close right now. Yeah, so we have just it's very close. We have just a slight right and downward tear. So I'm gonna go make a couple corrections and we're gonna try that again. All right guys, so I just did a little shimming on the top hats that Mathews has to try to fix that tear. So we're gonna see what we got now. And I just made a subtle adjustment because we weren't very far off. So hopefully that corrected it for us. All right, I think that's what we're looking for. Yeah, that's a very clean tear. So I'm just gonna leave it at that for now. It's looking really good anyways, but I always like to get a few hundred shots through my bow, and then I'll check it again after I know I've got 200 to 300 through it. But that's a good start for tuning. We're gonna take my arrows here. We're gonna run it through the chrono to let you know what kind of speeds we're getting out of this here. All right guys, we're gonna run it through the chrono here to see what kind of speeds we're getting. Again, I am shooting 27.5-inch draw with the 85% mods. 70 pounds, which max out, I'm just guessing it's 71 or 72 pounds right now, but VAP SS 300s, I'm shooting a 100 grain tip with the 50 grain insert on here. My arrows are coming in at 452. So overall weight 452. Let's see what we got. And if you watch any of our other bow build videos, you can see we just have the crown on the stool. So I am gonna have to do a little squat workout here to make this happen. All right, so we got 275. I'm just gonna run one more through there just to see if we got a consistent speed, make sure the chrono's not talking back at us. 273, so we'll call it 274 on an average there. Actually pretty happy with that speed. I know last year with my RIP TKOs on last year's bow, I was shooting 280 and those arrows were coming in at 404. So I'm running almost 50 grains heavier on this bow, same specs, and I've only dropped just a couple feet per second. So yeah, pretty excited. The bow feels awesome. I'm pretty pumped to get out and start shooting this thing at distance and see what it can do. All right, guys. So it's all built, ready to go. I'm really excited about this bow. It's a very smooth drawing bow, but it's probably the most quiet and dead in the hand bow that I've had just on the few shots that I took there. Super excited to get it outside once the snow melts and see what it can do long range. I think I'm really gonna like this bow. Again, it's the V3X 29. And quick review of the accessories. We got the Silent Connect system, which you can use their bow rope and their sling. I got the Mathews Low Pro detachable quiver. The Mathews Integrate Rest. I've got a black gold mountain light sight customized with the big dog housing. And again, I'm waiting for that bracket, so I'll be able to utilize that bridge lock down the road here. 8-inch flatline Mathews bar on the front, 6-inch Mathews flatline bar on the back with their adjustable V-bar. We got their bow legs. Yeah, so that's what I'm running this year, really excited. If you guys have any other certain product reviews that you want us to do, any other bow builds, maybe you got some other ideas that we could do for you, leave them in the comments below. We'd be more than happy to make some more videos on what you guys want to see. Again, hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you guys next time.